Namaste and welcome back to BKRtravel, where we are getting into our India hotels and Airbnb reviews. We were in India for about 2.5 months or so, going through different hotels in Delhi. We also went to an Airbnb in Agra and also a couple of Airbnbs in Jaipur, and then also stayed in a really nice hostel down there in Udaipur. We'll get into all of that over the next coming weeks. So if you haven't subscribed yet and this is the kind of content you're looking for, definitely go and hit that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Now, something that I want to get into just before we start this series off. Please, when you're thinking about India, understand the intention that you're going there for. Now, India can be crazy. India is crazy. Look, I'm just going to throw it out there. India is a very crazy place to go, and I'm not telling you something that you don't know, even if you haven't been there. But if you have been there, whenever you're planning to go to India, go in with the right intention, and you just kind of need to let everything flow. You need to let India hit you, because it will hit you, but you need to take it in your stride. And when you are booking apartments and hotels and Airbnbs and whatnot, you are going to get a clear and decisive difference between the budget experience, the middle experience, and then also the luxury experience. You know, you can get places for like $3 Australian dollars a night. Would I recommend staying there? No, I necessarily wouldn't. But there is some hidden gems as well. There is some hidden gems with those real cheap places, and they're usually going to be hostels and whatnot. But the reason I'm saying this is because when you go with an expectation of having a budget trip, please don't expect it to be a luxury trip. Know what you're going for, and you're going to have an amazing time. And if you're going for the luxury, well, you're going to be treated like a king. That's what I'll say there for the most part. Now, let's move into the hotel that we stayed at here first, which was the Novotel New Delhi Aerocity Hotel. Obviously, we just come from Hong Kong on a night layover. The hotel review for that is already out at the Regal Airport Hotel in Hong Kong. But as soon as we got to Delhi, I wanted to make sure that I was going to have a nice transitional process into the country. I didn't want, and I know some people were like this, but I wasn't into the whole, I'm just going to go wake myself up immediately. So when I booked the Novotel here at Aerocity, I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was going to find craziness elsewhere, but I just wanted to slowly transition into what India can be. And this hotel is a really, really good example of that, because it is pretty much directly at the airport. It's only 7 minutes away from where you're leaving the airport itself, and then you jump into an Uber. I will recommend 100% Uber, because otherwise you will get price gouging. The taxis will try to take advantage of you, and I'm not even going to try and be nice about saying this. The taxi guys, a lot of them, pretty much all of them, will try to price gouge you. You should only be paying, I think it was about 500 rupees, and that might even be expensive. If you check on Google, it should only be 250, 300, but 500 is okay. And Uber will give you that. Uber will give you the genuine price, even though it still can be surge pricing, but surge pricing makes sense. The taxi drivers tried to get like 2,500 rupee from me just to go 7 minutes. And then when I would try and bring it down, they'd be like, no, go away. So it's crazy. They weren't even willing to discuss it, to barter it, to bring it down. They were set on a ridiculously ludicrous fee to go from the airport to the Novotel New Delhi Aerocity Hotel for a ridiculous price. So I really do advise you, and it will be wild when you walk out of that airport. There is a lot of people there, very hot. The air quality is not fantastic. This is what you know you're going for. You know you're going to get this in India, especially in Delhi. So as soon as you walk out of that airport, you're going to have every sense possible just whack you in the face, and you need to figure out what you're doing. So to advise you, please prepare for this beforehand. Prepare for the wake-up call of all wake-up calls. You can take it in your stride, or you can get overwhelmed. And I don't think I got overwhelmed necessarily here, but the potential is absolutely there, especially with the fact that you're just trying to get a taxi from here to there, and they're trying to take as much money as possible from you, which is kind of just what you will get used to in India as well, where no matter what, you just have to bring that price down by a ludicrous amount, because it will probably be quoted right up here when it's worth down here, and you need to try to find it around here. So when we get to the Novotel in New Delhi, this is a place that I knew would be an easier transition because it's right there. It is a Western hotel in a French hotel. Novotel is very well known around the world. It's very quality, and I knew that I would be getting at least a quality enough experience. I wasn't expecting the 5-star of all 5-star treatments being waited on hand and foot. No, I was just expecting a very clean hotel that you walk in, you fall on the bed, you freshen yourself up before hitting the world. And I will say, it was an exceptionally clean room. And that's exactly what we wanted. So the room that I got here, and I put the same dates in that I went this year for next year to give a similar pricing, I actually got ripped off about $2. It's about $2 difference from what I paid at $669. This is definitely on the very expensive side of India. It is an expensive hotel. But again, you're going to get a good product. And if you are coming to India for the first time, I believe it is worth it before you start to go down a different route. But that's just my personal opinion. Now, I stayed here in the Premier King room, free Wi-Fi, so $667 for 2 nights. So what's that? $333 effectively, $333.50 per night. Again, on the very expensive side of India, and if you don't feel the need to do this, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for that kind of price. With this room, Premier King room, free Wi-Fi, you get that internet included, parking included, which doesn't really do anything for travelers and tourists and whatnot. The room itself, this is the bathroom. You go across here, this is the room itself. It is the most basic room of the lot. It's not the suites and whatnot. I just wanted something to sleep in for a couple of nights, to go out in the morning and go out in the afternoon and just experience what there was in the area, and just to have a look around and see how people react and how they act, right? Great place for that. So that is the bedroom there with the view on the inside, which we'll talk about in a second. That's a great example of the room. And it is clean, it is beautiful, and it is very, very modern. So, like I said, you are guaranteeing yourself a quality bed. It was soft, it was nice, the carpets were nice, it was extremely clean. You had a table there, the internet was working well, there is a mini bar, there's coffee and tea there. The bathroom was exceptional, like it really was. The shower was amazing, and something that you always will get concerned with before going to India is the reputation of its water. And when you're brushing your teeth, not to brush your teeth with the water coming out from the tap, and even in the shower, don't let the water go into your mouth. I'll be honest with you, don't do it. Don't do it. But I also didn't get sick from this. In my whole 2.5 months, and I stayed in places lesser than this, I didn't get sick from it. Long story short, bathroom incredible. The pressure from the shower was really nice. And as you can see here, it just looked elegant. The bathroom, as you can see down here, just looks elegant, looks clean, and has plenty of room. It has your toilet to your left-hand side. It has a huge area with the massive mirror with the tap. And then you've also got the massive shower area. So there's nothing that I can take away from the bathroom. And shower pressure is always very, very important. If you look outside as well, in this area over here, you do have inside one of the closets, there is a safe, which you can put your passport in, you can put money in, if you are nervous for that, and if you do worry about that. I'm actually going to speak a lot more in a future video about how the safety that you get told you need for India isn't as necessary as you would believe. And even when you have your travel pouch around your waist, it's not as necessary as people will make it out to be. But the room overall is just great, and that's what you needed. Again, it was an expectation. That's why I'm paying that kind of money for it. Oh, here's a great example there of the bathroom, the shower to the left-hand side. There's the tabletop. That's actually a little bit different to what I had. I had a bit more expansive than that, to be completely honest with you, so that is different. The only thing I will debate here, and this was a con, that view. Now, that view is on the inside of the Novotel, where there's like a little courtyard. Now, when I was there, and I got to really clarify this, was when I was there was a lot of construction, and outside definitely did not look like that. It had like paint on the windows outside. It had rubble everywhere. It was like it was a war zone. Genuinely. It looked like a genuine war zone outside as they were, changing it all around. So I would expect that it would be different now. When I was there, it genuinely looked like it was a war zone out there. There were things everywhere. It was rubble. It was dirty. It was crazy. That's outside of the room. Unfortunately, there was a bit of construction noise, and there was rubble everywhere, and they were clearly refurbishing that area. So that was a bit of a disappointment, because just looking outside my room, I would probably see an Indian guy who had his shirt off who was doing work. Yeah, that's legit. So if you do know there's construction happening out there, please request a room higher so that you don't have to genuinely just look out into a courtyard that is looking out of control. Looking out of control. One thing as well that's very important to note here is that to get into the Novotel, and I feel like this is probably with most of the hotels in Aerocity, but I can't confirm, but definitely with the Novotel, you actually have to walk through a metal detector and you have to put your bag into the security area, which goes through a scanner just to get inside, and this is 24/7. So the security is really good here. You will feel protected, especially with all the reputation that India has. You do need that early feeling of protection. This is a really good process that India does have, where you feel that real safety measure as you're coming in. And inside the hotel overall, you have a really cool sports bar. So you got your check-in. As you walk in, you've got your check-in desk, which, let me see if they've got it. Well, this is the check-in area. So you've got your check-in area right there. And then as you can see behind these like shutter things, that's actually the sports bar. There is a sports bar right over there, and it's actually really big, and it goes all the way around, and there's some comfortable seating there. The pricing of the soft drinks and the pricing of the drinks is very much what you would expect from an establishment like this, which is definitely on the pricier side. You can get very, very cheap drinks in India, not necessarily here at the Novotel, so do expect that, but that is an expectation when you go to hotels like this. They're making some good money off it. They are making some good money knowing how much a can of Coke Zero or can of Coke in India is. No, they're charging like 5-6 times it. it's crazy. So yeah, inside there is that sports bar. There is spa facilities there as well, which is great. I didn't use it personally, but it did look really good on the pricier side. It also had a really cool outdoor sitting area. Actually, let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find this outdoor sitting area. If I go this side, that's the breakfast area. So this is the outdoor sitting area. Is there a better photo? This is the one. This was really cool. So look, again, Delhi's air quality is not great. It's just a fact. Delhi's air quality is not fantastic. But in the mornings, I would go out here and just sit on a chair. There's usually chairs out in that lawn area. But I would go out here and I would just chill. And it was really cool. It was refreshing. It was nice. Again, the quality of the air wasn't fantastic, but it was a nice experience. And I don't know, it felt very secluded in a place that has a lot of people in it. So I really recommend going and just chilling out here in the afternoon, more probably so in the morning. The afternoon can get quite warm and mosquitoes can be there or thereabouts, not too bad, but the morning was a really nice time to go and sit here. There is also a pool, and I know they'll have a photo of the pool here. Where is it? Is it? No, that's not. Where is it? Let me have a look down here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we scroll across here. This is the pool area. Beautiful. Beautiful. Quality of the air looks not too bad that day, but you can feel and you can feel that smog that is in the air for the most part. Pool was nice. Pool was really nice, and it's actually kind of in between two hotels, I feel. I'm not too sure about this. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if you know. But behind is where the Novotel is. I believe that's a different hotel. If it's not, well then it's a huge hotel, Novotel. It would be absolutely huge. But I feel like they might share this. I could be incorrect here, but I had this question at the time. I did have this question at the time. The pool is nice. There wasn't that many people using it anyway, to be completely honest with you, and it was quite hot. Moving into the breakfast, and the breakfast was really good. There's some fresh fruit here and fresh vegetables that you can see, plus also, you know, little interesting, nifty things like this. I did see a review where someone said that it was a very Indian-style buffet breakfast, and they didn't like it because it wasn't catering to internationals. Mate, you're in India, you know, like, come on. Really? You're complaining about it being an Indian-style buffet breakfast at the Indian hotel in India? I get that Novotel is French, but you have come to India. Why do you feel like you want to have an American-style buffet? Don't get me wrong, I love American-style buffet. I love different buffets, but you're coming to India, it's a slow transition in. You know the quality of food is good because it's a high-tier chain of hotels. There shouldn't be any complaints. The buffet was expansive. It was really nice, and genuinely, I really appreciated what there was to offer. This doesn't actually show you all the curries and the naans, and the smell of it was just unbelievable. So the buffet, I don't believe, if I quickly go here to have a look, I don't believe it was included. No. So internet included. No, I didn't have the buffet included, but I did have the buffet. I feel like it might have been around $25 a night Australian. I feel like it might have been, but I could be incorrect there, so please check that before you do go. It is worth it. It's the same thing every day, but it is worth it. Before I give you my final review of it, I want to check out what the better rooms are. Like, what's the best room that they've got here? So for 2 nights, the Superior Suite, two-way airport transport, two-way airport transfers, lounge access. So there's a lounge there as well. I didn't have it, but there is a lounge there. 15% discount on food, beverage, and laundry. So look, this is a nice room. You've got a nice view out there, I guess, but I don't think that you're going to be going to Aerocity for the view too much. That's for sure. But this is nice. $948, so it's not that much more expensive, I guess, than what you're paying for the basic room. Like, the basic room that I got was $667, so $333 a night. And you go to the Superior Suite at $948, so what's that? That's like $474? It's not a ridiculous amount more, and this isn't showing you the bathroom. This isn't showing you. It does look like there's plenty of space here. You do have at least a view there. I don't think it would be out of the equation, but then again, it comes down to what your financial situation actually is here. And breakfast is included down there. Or maybe I did. Did I get the breakfast? No, I didn't. I don't think I did. I must have paid for it separately. I think I did pay for it separately. But the point is that that's not. Again, if you're paying this, you actually probably might nearly be able to afford this, but it is that little bit extra a night. I wouldn't put it past it. I think that it is good. Plus, you're also getting the transport from the airport. However, it says two-way airport, so it's like, well, I'm not coming to Delhi just to stay here. So when I come, I'm not going to be going back. So unless you're saying that you're giving me transfers from the airport to Novotel and then Novotel to my next hotel or wherever I'm staying next in Delhi. If that's the case, sure, but otherwise, no one's going to surely be coming just to experience Delhi by going to Aerocity overall. There's not much difference in size. I'd recommend just doing that, to be fair. I really would. Couple things I've written down as well, though. Occasional power outage. Yes, there was an occasional power outage inside the hotel, which I wasn't expecting. And also, the internet was good when it was good, but sometimes it could also cut out and would make it difficult to use the internet. These things are an important factor, where if you're on a Zoom call, if you're on a business call, these things can happen. But when you go to India, expect the unexpected. So, was I completely surprised? Not necessarily. Was I shocked a little bit, though, that a 5-star, 4-star hotel, 4.5-star hotel here in New Delhi would have power outages and not have, like, the generator to cover. Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that, to be honest. That is just something to keep in mind. Was it regular? No, but it's something to keep in mind. And also, I will say, Aerocity is very much a short stay destination. It is a short stay destination here in Aerocity, where you can see a whole bunch of damn well hotels here. As I said, the airport is just over here where you're getting in. That is Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 over there. But point matter is, this is the airport and this is Aerocity. So it's all part of the one area. And then why I said it was a little bit away from Delhi is because New Delhi is all the way up here. Delhi is even further. People don't realize there's a difference here. But New Delhi is in the middle there. Delhi is over here. I actually stayed, which is the next review that we'll be doing, in Hauz Khas, which is a really intriguing kind of neighborhood, very trendy. I went from Novotel to Hauz Khas, and then I went up to New Delhi for a little bit. That'll be the next review there on Hauz Khas. But when I'm talking about Aerocity, it's not really a place where there is restaurants. There's World Mark 1 Aerocity. There is coffee places and whatnot, but it's not India. My review of the Novotel New Delhi Aerocity Hotel is that it is a place where you go for a couple of days to slowly immerse yourself into the craziness of India. You will get parts of the craziness, but you won't get anywhere near the full craziness. This is a slow immersion, and the way I did it, I feel like is quite perfect from Aerocity to Hauz Khas to up in New Delhi. Okay, you don't want to stay here for too long. I feel like it is just kind of that opening, slow opening to a place that you recognize, but in a place that you don't recognize. India, you don't recognize. The hotel, you recognize. So it's a good transitional point. And that's what I'll say there. So, look, I hope you enjoyed this hotel review. You are paying for it, where you can get a lot better value overall elsewhere, but you're guaranteeing it is why you're paying for it, to immerse yourself originally. But alright guys, I appreciate you. I will see you next time for our review of Hauz Khas, where we stayed in an Airbnb there. Really interesting. So I appreciate you. Obviously, subscribe if you are new around here. Hit that thumbs up button and comment below if you've been to Delhi and where you've stayed, or where you would recommend staying for potentially next time that I do go there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.